In this video, we are going to discuss PDF accessibility and tagged PDF files. We will talk about what are tags, what is the importance of putting tags in a PDF file and making it accessible, what are some of the things you should be taking into consideration while preparing your PDF, what are the benefits of tagged PDF files, and how to check whether your PDF file has tags or not. So we will be discussing these type of things. So let's get started after a short break. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Tahir and I make videos about educational technology tools for students and teachers. If you are interested in these topics, please hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell to get notified whenever I post a new video on this channel. Now, PDF is the abbreviation of portable document format, and normally these files are independent of operating systems, hardware or applications. These are very stable files. They can hold many types of content, text, images, form fields and scientific notations. Most of the research papers are written in a PDF file with some math equations, some scientific notations, and PDF file format is one of the favorite by teachers, students and organizations, both government and private sector. But not all PDF files are same. PDF files can be broadly categorized as accessible and non-accessible. But the first question is, what is a tagged PDF file? In simple words, the PDF file with tags. But a little bit more explanation is that a PDF file which contains some information about the structure of the document, how the contents are structured inside the file. That file is called a tagged PDF file, and this structure information is provided to other applications, to other software applications. And now the question is, why tagging is required? Now, there are three main reasons. The first is that to make the PDF file readable by screen readers. These are applications which help disabled people, people with vision impairment, blind people, or people with hearing difficulties, deaf people. And these screen readers read the document for blind people, for example. Some examples are JAWS is a very famous screen reader. Then Apple VoiceOver. If you have any Apple device, you must have Apple VoiceOver, which is free. JAWS is not free. It has an annual subscription of around $100. Similarly, ZoomText, this is a screen reader. So to make a PDF readable by these screen readers, you must put tags in your PDF. So if you are preparing educational resources, you must make sure that your PDF files have tags to be used by disabled people. Now the second point is almost same as the first point with few differences which we are going to discuss. When we say a PDF is accessible, normally it means accessible to disabled people. But there are some technical requirements as well which we are going to discuss on the next slide. And the third point is that in some advanced countries, it is a requirement that all the documents must be accessible to all users, all consumer of the document, including disabled people. So you must have tagged PDF files. Now let us discuss this accessible PDF in a little bit detail. For a PDF to be accessible, it must be accessible to disabled people. This is first thing. It must have tags. And the second important point is that there is a technical criteria which must be met by the PDF file. And we will talk about that criteria on this page. But before that, I want to highlight that there are many applications which can create a PDF file for you. For example, Adobe, Word, LaTeX. On my channel, you will find many videos about LaTeX, how to prepare PDF. And most scientific literature is prepared in LaTeX due to its professional quality. But Word can also prepare a PDF file, and Adobe is the company which of course invented this format. So you can also create a PDF in Adobe. But there are other applications as well, such as OpenOffice, Google Docs, and there are many others. But there are few things you must consider when you are preparing a PDF. So in your native file, for example, if you are preparing using Word, in the Word file, you must take into consideration few things. If you want to make your PDF accessible and if you want to tag your PDF, because if you don't take these things into consideration, it will be hard or incomplete to tag your PDF. You might get few tags, but not a complete tagging. So what are those things? I have mentioned only few which are the most important, but you can find a comprehensive list somewhere on the internet. So the first thing you should be taking care is that you must provide the language of the document in the application. Give your document a title, add alternate text for images describing the image. So if there is a tree and a kitten, you explain something, an image of a tree and a kitten, something like that. And this is also true for form fields. You must put some description. You also use headings and subheadings, and this you can do in Word, in LaTeX or in any other application, not by simply changing the font but changing the attribute to heading and subheading. And this is the biggest mistake people do. They simply change the font size, make it bold and pretend that this is a heading and this is a subheading. You have to change the attribute of that text to a heading or subheading. Then you must use lists because they are very efficient. They determine the order, and we will talk about this in a minute. Then you can also use tables if you want to tag. And now we have already discussed what is an accessible PDF, but now I want to explain what are some of the technical criteria required by an accessible PDF file. Now the first thing is language and title, I have discussed. The second is that text must be available to a screen reader. Your application must not block the text from a screen reader. Now the font you use must have a mapping of Unicode characters, the basic characters. So your font must be able to map to a set of Unicode characters. We are not going to discuss this. This is a big topic, but there is a lot of information available about Unicode characters. If you are using a form in your PDF, the fields of that form must be interactive. User must be able to enter the values in those fields. Now your document must have a table of content, bookmarks which you can check in Acrobat Reader, and ability to access these features without a mouse. Then this is the most important point. There must be structured tags to determine the proper reading order. How the screen reader will determine that it should read first this text, then it should describe an image, then it should run an audio file, and then again it should describe this list item, then this list item, and so on. So these structured tags enable the screen reader to maintain the correct order for reading, and this is achieved by putting tags into the files. We have discussed the alternate text already, and then there are some other features. So when you put all these features in your file, sometimes we refer this as 508 compliant, but this is not a legal advice because there are some other features and you must consult a legal team about the compliance issues. But normally these are some of the major things you should be taking care of in order to get the 508 compliance, which is basically a law in US that you must have accessible PDF files. Now the next thing is how to check that a PDF has tags inside or not, and this I'm going to show you in a minute. And then the last thing which will complete this topic is how to put tags in a PDF which does not have tags, and this is the part which I'm going to discuss in another video. So let us see how you can check that your PDF has tags or not. I will show you quickly. Now this is a PDF guide which I have prepared for my subscribers. You can download this by clicking on the link in the description, but this file does not have any tags. To check any file, you open this in Acrobat Reader, which is a free application, or you can use any other PDF editor such as Foxit or any other free. You don't have to pay for that. And in PDF Acrobat Reader, you press Ctrl D and it will show you the document properties, and at the end of this you can see tag PDF no. It means there are no tags in this PDF. Also there is some important information here, PDF producer, and because I have prepared this in LaTeX, so I can see the name of the compiler. Also you can check the fonts. Click on fonts and you will see some information about the fonts available in this, and then you can check whether they can be mapped to Unicode characters or not. So this is how you can check whether a PDF file has tag or not. So I hope you like this video. If so, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching and see you next time.